It's time to bake Easter bread. I'd like to welcome everyone. My name is Birgit, and today I'm going to show you how to bake Italian Easter bread. And for this recipe, you'll need a few ingredients. And so these are the ingredients that you need, and that is quick rise dry yeast, and some eggs and butter and milk, sugar and flour. So first I'm going to take a small saucepan like this and put a 1¼ cup of milk in here, and then I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup of butter in the saucepan and warm this all up together. So now I'm going to put 2 eggs in my mixing bowl. I have my 2 eggs in my mixing bowl. I'm just going to whisk that together. In the meantime, my butter and my milk is warming up. So the next step is to add 1/2 cup of sugar and whisk that together. And the melted butter with milk, we're going to add that all together here in this bowl and stir that a little bit up, and we're going to add 2 teaspoons of the fast quick rise yeast, dry yeast I'm using. There are 2 teaspoons. I'm going to stir that a little bit together and let that sit for 10 minutes. So everyone, I added another 1/2 teaspoon of the quick rise dry yeast because I checked the recipe and it calls for a total of 2½ teaspoons of dry yeast. So now I put my bowl back on my mixing machine here and put the right tool on, and now I'm going to add 4 cups of flour. So we're going to add first the 2 cups, and this is what I have here is 1/2 cup, and then we're going to mix it, and then we're going to add the other 2 cups. So now I'm going to add the rest of the flour. I have to remember that this measurement here is just 1/2 cup, so I need for 2 cups 4 of these 1/2 cups. So that's 2, 3, and 4. So I use organic flour. If you want to, you can seep this through first. And now I'm going to mix that all together for a few minutes. Okay, that looks perfect. There, so now we're going to put that in a bowl. So before I put the dough into this next bowl here, it's nice and big so the dough can rise. I'm going to put a tiny bit of olive oil in here. There, and I'm going to brush that olive oil on the bottom and all around the side here so that it will come out nice and easy when the dough rises. Otherwise, it does stick a lot. Put this in there. So I have it all in the bowl here, and don't worry about being a perfect round shape as long as it's in there together. And then we're going to cover this bowl here with saran wrap or lid, whatever you have, and let it sit for a whole good hour. In that time, you can do something else that you need to do around the house. So there we go. Okay everyone, look how beautiful my dough has risen. And now I'm going to put some flour here on the counter and work out my dough. So I always use sanitized gloves when I do this part. So I'm just going to knead the dough there. Work it out so that all the holes and bubbles will be out. So now I've separated the dough into 3 equal parts. So now what we're going to do is make 3 equal long, well, snake or whatever you want to call this. So what I'm doing is I'm just squeezing and pulling here because it's such a soft dough. It doesn't roll that easy, so I'm just going to continue till I get the right length. It looks like it's 2 feet long. There we've got our 3 long pieces. So now we're going to make a braid. So we're going to attach them all on the end and going to go over . It's coming along here. There we have our braid. So you would use a bundt pan, and I can't find my bundt pan at the moment, so what I'm going to do is just put this insert here, this baking dish in the middle, and I'll do the same thing. Now I'm going to carefully lift this bread that I've braided and put it in the pan like this and make it go all the way around and move it a little bit to the sides and fix this a little bit there and make it attach. It's not perfect, but it's in there, and I'm going to put my dish in the middle like that. Then I'm going to preheat my oven and just let it go up to 150 at the most, and let my dough rise and sit for another hour. So I stopped the oven at around 100, open the door wide. I just want to get some warmth in the oven. Turned it off, and now I'm just going to let my dough sit for another hour in the oven so that it will rise nicely. So here, after an hour, the dough has risen very nicely, and I set the oven now at 370. I'm going to put the bread in the oven right now, and then I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes. It should be golden brown when it's finished. So the bread was looking golden brown after 22 minutes, so I took it out and I tested with my poke, and it is baked really well, and so far it's looking good. So now I lifted it on a rack to cool. The middle piece is in there. It can stay in there because I'm going to fill it with some colorful candy Easter eggs. So I let this Italian bread or sweet bread cool down for a whole hour, and the piece in the middle is just baked in there, which is okay. And I'm going to just put some icing. I made some icing here with icing sugar, water, and a little bit of vanilla. And I'm just going to brush some here and there, just a little bit, and especially in the cracks. So we don't want to put a whole lot of icing on. See, that is enough icing there. And we just want to sprinkle a few colorful sprinkles on top. And I want to do this as long as the icing is still sticky. It's already drying on me. So just a few to make it look like an Easter colorful bread. Okay. So for the final touch, you can put 1 or 2 cooked Easter eggs that I decorated in the last video in here. Or you can also put some colored eggs in there, and I think that's what I'm going to do because the hole in the middle didn't, ended up a little small. So I'm just going to put this whole package of colorful eggs in the middle, and I think that looks great. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and please join me again in the next video.